And do you think rent to rent is a passive strategy?
Yeah, great question, Leah.
This is how we do it. This is how we do it.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all good. So today I'm joined by the lovely Stephanie. And Stephanie is from Rent to Rent Success. She has her own YouTube channel, so you've got to go and check it out. But obviously we are doing the Women in Property series and I had to have Stephanie on my channel. So, thank you for being here.
I'm super stoked to be here. I feel like no, it's really good to meet you.
Oh, thank
I
you.
love what you do with your channel. It's next level. You want to see the setup that's in here, guys. It's actually like a studio. Totally.
So, tell us a bit about yourself and your life before property.
Cool. So before property, it's been a bit of a roller coaster here, and certain aspects of it I've only really started being more open about recently. So I had my son Alex when I was 19, and there was really a bit of a struggle, you know, on benefits, and there was all sorts of highs and lows and trials and tribulations, you know, over the years. But eventually, I went to the Open University while he was little, and started my degree, and I finished it off later on full-time at uni, and then I got some, you know, decent good jobs, and you know, life started going a little bit better.
Yeah.
But back in 2016, my mum got ill, and I just started to look at things and say, actually, I want to be able to have a different kind of life. I want to be able to have a life where I can go and be with my mum if I need to for a few months. It would have been really hard for me to do that the way that my life was set up. I was working in Bristol. I needed that job to fund the lifestyle that I didn't have time to enjoy. Yeah. And it meant that the things that I had to make the job the most important thing. Yeah. So, you know, it kind of started up with a phone call. My mum called me one morning and I knew that she wasn't feeling good and she would have needed a bit of support and she wasn't feeling well. But I made my job more important. Yeah. And it was just after that when it just sort of hits you and you realise, is this the life that I want to live? Yeah. And that's when I started getting serious and pulling my socks up. Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
So how did your property journey begin? Where did you start?
Well, like a lot of people, I started going to the networking events. Yeah. And it totally blew my mind. Yeah. Could not believe what I was hearing. You know, people were saying that they were starting off just like me from a job and didn't think that they could do anything special, and then they're telling you this journey of all the properties that they've acquired and the businesses that they've built up and from where they are now. Yeah. And it's just a few years ago that they started, and that really I already had a bit of fire in my belly. Yeah. And I thought, and I saw one person, I thought, oh, because you know, sometimes you kind of think, oh, these people are special, these people are not like me, these people are different, and I thought, oh, I think this person kind of is like me. Yeah.
They're more relatable.
Yeah. And I thought, God, if they can do it, maybe I can do it. I should definitely give this a go. And you know how you veer from, yes, oh my gosh, definitely I can do this, to like, oh no, I don't think I can. Yeah. I was like, definitely I can do this. And I just decided that if all these people were making rent to rent work, then I was going to have a go at it. And I thought that I could do it better.
I love that. I love the energy.
No evidence to support it really, but I thought so.
Yeah, me and Mum were kind of the same as well. When we got started, we were like, we could do it better. Like, what? I love that. So, when did you get your first rent-to-rent deal?
Yeah, it was, we'd sort of heard, you know, you sort of start watching YouTube, and I was sort of getting the idea that you have to ask for a lot of properties before you get the first one, and I think it depends where you are and what, but I was still working full-time in Bristol, and I was going across over to Newport in Wales, and this was one Saturday. I've gone across on several viewings, and afterwards I was in the town centre where all the letting agents are, and I was standing outside one of the big letting agents thinking, can I go in? Should I go in? Oh, what if they say no?
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. And I was just standing outside, hopefully hidden, thinking, should I go in? And I thought, you've got to go in. You said you wanted to do this. You're never going to be able to change. If you don't go in, you've got to go in. So I made myself go in. And, you know, you hear the words coming out in sort of a strangled voice. Who's that speaking? And the woman was the manager of that branch. I found out later.
Yeah.
And she says, is this subletting? She says, oh no, we don't do that. You know, with our head office, we'd have to give all the contracts, and that they wouldn't be up for it, basically. Yeah. And I said, oh well, would you consider for any of your tenant find only landlords introducing us, and then when you get to see what we like, maybe you'd be happy to be in the sandwich sort of deal. And she must have just had a breakthrough moment, because she started shoogling me to this big screen, you know, they have the big screen.
Okay.
And started to show me 2 properties that they had on tenant find only, and that was our first 2 properties, basically. Wow. I know.
Yeah.
And it was all a bit of a whirlwind.
Yeah. So from those 2 properties in 2016, where are you at now?
Yeah, so we've got 21 properties now.
Wow.
We've got over 100 units. We've some of them on rent to rent. We're very fussy about the properties that we will take on.
Yeah.
Because, as you know, the good properties work really well. And you don't want to invest your time or energy or money into properties that are marginal or not really for you.
Yeah.
So we'll only accept properties within 2 postcode areas in Newport where we work. We know those areas really well. We know what will work in those areas, and we just don't go outside.
Yeah.
We've got no interest in going to other areas because those areas work for us. So why not leverage on that?
Yeah.
And then we bought some properties as well.
Amazing.
Yeah, like yourself.
Yeah.
Although we don't get in there with the...
with the strip out.
Yeah, no. We just go in and do a video. Oh no, it gets stripped out. You're in there with your... What's those big hammers called?
Oh, I don't even know. Just pick up anything.
So that's where we are now. And... it's crazy. The turnover of that, the rent to rent business is over £400,000 a year.
Wow.
And the properties that we own, I mean, these are small numbers in property. I have to say this because sometimes it sounds like you're showing off, but it's not actually showing off in property circles, as you know. Yeah. These are like tiny. And then we bought properties that are worth just over £1 million. And I only say these things because I always wonder when I'm watching people, I think, well, what does that really mean? That they've got a property portfolio, what does it mean? But I say this to encourage other people who are like where I was when I first started listening to all this and with my mouth open and like I couldn't believe it. Yeah. It's just to say that it's only 4 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I thought you'd been in it longer. No. I didn't realise it was only 4 years.
Yeah, it's only 4 years. Yeah.
It's good to show people like what is actually possible and what you can do in like a short space of time.
And I mean, people can do a lot more as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's super cool.
Oh, and you work with your sister.
Yeah. So that's why I resonated with you as well, Leah, because you and your mum.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's me and my sister Nikki, and hey Nikki, if you're watching. She doesn't usually watch me, but yeah,
it's fine.
Either way, she might watch you. You see, because I told her that I'm coming on today, and but. It's so funny how that happened as well, because, you know, with family, sometimes they get right on your nerves. Yeah. And Nikki and I used to really love each other to bits, but rub each other the wrong way, you know, at Christmas holidays, day 3, it was like... she's very detail oriented, very focused, has to give you advice on everything, tell you how to fry an egg. If you take out a frying pan at her house, I'm not joking, she's going to tell you how to fry the egg, what heat to use, how long, all of this. But that has been amazing in the business, like having somebody with that detail focus and for all the legals, for the accounts, for everything like that. So I'm sort of the ideas and the vision and the videos.
Yeah.
I'm in front of the camera. She's the one who makes everything deliver behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is literally like me and Mum. Like, I'm the one with the videos, like just saying, oh, like I want to do this, and then she's in the back, like making it happen, kind of thing. But I think it works really well.
It does.
Yeah.
It does, because she would have never started a business.
Yeah.
She'd thought of starting a business for a lot of time. I sometimes think the people who are the most talented often can see the downfalls more, so that they don't actually start.
Yeah, they don't go for it.
Yeah, they don't go for it.
Yeah.
So it's been really good for both of us. So I think I love her a lot more now. I value her a lot more than before.
Yeah. And do you think rent to rent is a passive strategy?
Yeah, great question, Leah.
We're going in now.
Yeah, we're going deep. So when I first started with rent to rent, I was doing all of the like tenant facing stuff, like tenant finding, tenant paperwork, tenant onboarding, managing tenants in over the course of the tenancies. And so no, it's not passive.
Yeah.
So when we first started, those first 2 properties, it was 9 tenants. So I found all the 9 tenants and did the 9 lots of paperwork.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm never doing that again. It's each person to their own. Like some people love the paperwork side of things, but it's not for me. So straight away from the beginning, we got. I sat down with Nikki and I worked out what the process is, what happens at each step. Even down to when we get contact tenants on spare room, what message do we send them?
Yeah.
What message do we send them at different steps in the process?
Right.
What information do we ask for before they come to a viewing? So we worked out pretty early on that you need to ask when ideally they're looking to move, because if it's not for 3 months, then it's no point doing it now, because the room's going to have gone before that. So we worked out everything out, we mapped everything out, and then we created a way that we could oversee that within Google, and then we got a VA, and then she did the process.
Yeah.
We oversaw it, and that just worked really nicely.
Yeah.
And then I would still go to the properties, do the viewings, and then the VA would do all the onboarding, but we could go in and make sure, because you have to have a way of overseeing, because if anything's done incorrectly and the deposit's not registered or whatever's not done, then it's our neck's on the line as the investors, not your VA. So that worked out really well, and that's why how I like to show people that you don't have to be running around like a headless chicken. Yeah. You can I'm not saying take it easy, but for me I don't have to be involved in any of that side of the business. Yeah, so that was cool. And then later on after that, then when we had a few more properties, we got Luke in. We were thinking of sort of doing it part-time, like have somebody part-time to do the viewings and do this and that on a more casual basis. Yeah. Just as needed. But what we realised is that that's all very well, but they might not be available when you want the person. Yeah. And that doesn't kind of work because the commitment isn't there. I mean, some people can make that work, but we just decided in the end that we needed somebody full-time. Yeah. And it worked out well to have an apprentice. Right, okay. And so Luke's been amazing. So we've trained him up in the systems that we were delivering. Yeah. He's taken them to a next level, and we've obviously evolved them over a period of time. And yeah, so it's not too expensive either. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. It's very cool. Yeah. And what sort of challenges have you had along the way? What I love about property now is that really it's the excitement is getting over the challenges. Yeah. And what people forget, like people sometimes email me and they say, "Oh, but Stephanie, what about if my tenant doesn't pay? What about if I can't fill the property? What about if this? What about if that?" Well, at the moment, the struggle that they've got is that if they want to get out of their job and they want to create financial freedom, they're putting up with the comfort struggle, like the struggle of the 9 to 5, the struggle of having to give 40 hours of your week away, where you can't see your family, you can't see your children, you can't work on your dreams because you're working on somebody else's dreams. So that is where you are, which has got its own discomforts, which has got its own challenges, but you may be overlooking them. But when you look at where you actually want to go, you're looking at those challenges as so much bigger because they're unfamiliar to you.
Yeah.
But what I find, and probably what you find, I know that you did training before you started, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a paid training. You might know somebody who does it, who can show you the ropes.
Yeah.
But once you find out what the ropes are, and that helps you to set up in a way that you've got a low risk of having problems, or a low risk of having big problems.
Yeah.
And then when you get to your first little problem, this is where some people give up.
Yeah.
When you get to your first little problem, that's the time to say, oh, excuse me over there, you know, I know you've been doing this for 4 years or 10 years or however long, what do you do at this stage? Because for what seems like a big problem when you're a beginner, is like a tiny problem if you've been doing it for a while. You just say, okay, you just do that, and away you go.
Yeah.
So each little problem, you just get over it. You asked me what problems we have, and I've not said, have I?
It's alright. I feel like people will find like good use of that, and it's a really good point to make, because even I look back now and it's like things that I used to like cry about and be like, oh my god, it's such a big deal, and now I'm like, it really wasn't a big deal.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a big one, that people really worry that they won't build the property or that the tenants won't pay. But what we encourage people to do if they're starting off with rent to rent is choose the first property in an area they know.
Yeah.
Then you go to the property you know, because you know that area. Would professionals or contractors or whoever you're targeting towards live in this area?
Yeah.
Would people rent a room in this house if it was slightly done up a little bit from where you're just viewing it? You actually know the answer to those questions.
Yeah.
And then you can just go on spare room. You can just look around the area. Is it an area with shops? Is it an area with employers? Is it an area with investment? Is it an area with good transport links? Is it an area with a large hospital? If it's an area with people hubs, the more people hubs that are around that specific area, then the more resilient that is as an investment property.
Yeah.
So for me, it just seems simple working out whether you should go into an area or not. But I know that is something that people really struggle with. And then when you've got a good property in a good area, you just then need good systems for taking people on into your property.
Yeah.
So that you don't have the risk. But the reason why some of our systems have come into play is because we have had some bad tenants.
Yeah.
And we've had one in particular that caused me so much stress and harassment. just worry. But then you get over it, and it's just like a speck in what's been an amazing journey.
Yeah. You just kind of learn as you go, don't you? You just get better each time.
Exactly.
So, do you have any rent to serviced accommodations?
No, but if we could talk about this on here, I would love to know what your experience has been. I'll tell you why we haven't gone down that path at the moment is people do ask me about it a lot. For me, I look at it as a marketing business, because you're always marketing for new tenants. New guests.
Yes.
Because they might be there 2, 3. I know you can get longer stay ones as well, but you're always marketing for new tenants. And a hospitality business, because no matter what price they pay, everybody's looking now for a 5-star, experience.
Yeah.
And it's on a 24/7 basis. So. And if your units are all in different places, then the logistics of operating that service is like crazy.
Yeah. No, you're definitely right. I think because there's like a high turnover of people.
Yeah. So
where you've got a HMO, if that's like a 5-bed HMO.
Yeah.
I mean, the maximum a year people you're going to have is like what, 10 to 12?
Yeah.
Whereas with serviced accommodation, it's kind of like, well, you could have like 5 people a week, like 3 to 5 people a week. So. Yeah, it's like the high turnover of people. I can definitely see where rent to HMO.
And like, say if you've got 3 a week, 150 a year, then even if you only have 1% bad tenants, that's like 15 people that are challenging, shall we say, which is a lot. Well, so I take my hat off because I see a lot of people doing rent to serviced and doing it well, but that's a serious business. For me, it doesn't feel like a beginner strategy, but you did it as beginner.
Yeah, I definitely think service accommodation, it is more of an advanced strategy. You do have to be more prepared, I think, going into it. I think it is quite difficult. It's not easy, it's not for the faint-hearted at all.
I think a great way for people to start is to do what they call a house hack.
Okay.
So say you buy your own property and it's got spare bedrooms and you rent out your spare bedrooms.
Right, okay.
You can use all of that money for investment. You're living, that's a great way to get extra cash flow. And for people who live in cities and areas where you've got Monday to Friday people, for example, corporates, you can then do Monday to Friday rentals. So while you're at work during the week, you've got somebody staying with you who's also at work.
Yeah.
And then when you want the place to yourself at the weekends, you've got the place to yourself.
Yeah, they're gone.
Yeah, so I think that's a great way to get started, get a bit of extra cash flow, get a bit of savings or money to invest.
Yeah. So when you started rent to rent, how long was it before you started purchasing?
Yeah, that was so cool. I'm trying to think, because that was June 2016 we got the first one.
Yeah.
And in July, August we started off with those first 2 properties with the guaranteed rent, and then I think it was about a year and a half.
Okay.
If my memory is serving me, I hope it is. That the November of 2017 we bought our first one, and that was it was a commercial building, a big house essentially. So it was in a residential area, so we felt really quite confident that we would get planning to turn it into residential.
Yeah.
And we had kind of thought, well, we'll turn this into an 8-bed HMO.
Yeah.
So where we are in Newport, even at a conservative rental, 400 a room, you sometimes can get more than that. It would be 3,200 a month, and then obviously you've got to allow for bills. But planning can be more challenging, and we also thought we wanted to diversify what we're doing.
Yeah.
So I thought, I wonder if we can get 3 flats from this.
Okay.
And when we first went to the planning guy, he was talking about 2 flats, and I was thinking, 2's not really going to work.
Yeah.
2's not really. Anyway, he only came out with 4.
I love it.
Yeah, 4. Because one of them is one of those duplex where part of the flat's on one floor and part of the flat's on the other floor.
Right.
So all of them are 1-bedroom flats.
Yeah.
Really nice. Small, but not pokey.
Yeah.
So we've got planning for 4 flats. We've got commercial tenant at the moment, and so we're going to refurbish that and into the 4 flats. And we bought it for 148. And I know that even Birmingham people might think that's low, is it? But we bought it for 148. It's going to cost between 70 and 100 to refurbish.
Yeah.
So we'll be 248, and then the conservative cash flow, we won't be paying the bills, is over £26,000 a year.
Amazing.
And the valuation, we think it'll just be a bit more, like about 280k, maybe a bit more, but it'll just cover the costs that we put in, and we'll be able to refinance out. But so we're excited. We're excited for that one.
Yeah.
I think commercial is a really good opportunity to get into things, and sometimes the work that you have to do is it's not much more than you would do if you were just buying a house and turning it into an HMO, for example.
Yeah.
But you can often buy commercial properties for much less.
Yeah.
A lot less competition of people who are trying to buy them.
Yeah.
So the price doesn't go so sky high. And where we are, there's no permitted development, which means you've got to go through planning to develop a commercial property. I'm just saying that because obviously you know.
Yeah.
So you've got to go through planning to get to change a commercial into a resi. So there's none of that where we are. So
it's only in England, isn't it? Yeah.
It means that fewer people want it because fewer people understand how to either get planning or whether something's likely to get planned.
Yeah.
So again, that's another opportunity. So yeah, I really like commercial.
Yeah, it's good to see that you've like gone from rent to purchasing.
Yeah.
You haven't just like sort of built the rent to rent and then not brought as well.
Yeah.
Because I guess the purchasing, that's like building the wealth.
Yeah.
Whereas rent to rent's like the cash flow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now, since the more you get into it, and I know that I love your videos because not just like the property ones, but also the mindset ones.
Oh.
And you sort of dig down into what you're doing and how you're setting your goals and everything. But I think anybody who's in business, a property business or any kind of business, you have to grow your mind to grow your business.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I'm a totally different person to when I started 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting around to is that, so now I've got 3 core values or beliefs that drive everything that we're doing and what we show to other people who we're training. And that is to believe bigger. That's number 1, because a lot of the time you don't believe that you could be, you can have your own wealth, you can grow your own money, you can be the person who gives to charities. You don't have to wait to see who's going to give you a rise, who's going to give you a job. You're in charge of the wealth creator. You're creating jobs for other people. So that's number 1, believe bigger. Then number 2 is to be bolder, because the tendency that we all have is to want to hide. You don't want anyone to see you or know what you're doing, or just in case what if it doesn't work out, or anything like that. So it's to be bolder and let yourself, be out there, let people see what you're doing. Not everyone's going to agree with it, and that's okay. And the last one is to be a game changer in the fact that, like you're doing, you get to help other people to achieve their goals.
Yeah.
But also, as your wealth grows, you get to give to the causes that you choose. It's not just other people who are choosing what is the right cause or what to support. And there's something called B1G1. Have you heard of it?
No, I haven't heard of it.
Well, I only came across it within the past few months, but it's buy one, give one. So within your business, you can have it. So when somebody buys something from you, that within this global platform, that you choose who you're going to support. So at the moment, we're supporting business training in Malawi, but we've also got a charity in the UK that we support. Called Amazing Grace Spaces, but it just helps us in our business to have it as part of our everyday, that we're always, game changers for good, as I call it.
Yeah.
It's just, no, I've talked for so long, I can't remember what
it's
question
alright.
was. That's why I like to go into the purchasing, because it's just so powerful to have that next level. And I really encourage everybody who's like thinking of getting started. It's not only rent to rent, because obviously rent to rent is great and it can cash flow, but for some people they might be better off raising finance through family and friends to start off with, and buying something in the first instance. Rent to rent might not be for them.
You've got to kind of make it fit your lifestyle, I think.
And
I think probably that's where me and Mum didn't want to do rent to service accommodation, because it just wasn't fitting with the life we wanted to live. So I think you just have to, well, in terms of your strategy, just look at what will suit you and how you want to live your life.
Exactly. And see how you can get onto buying some properties. Definitely.
Definitely. And what advice have you got for other women?
I think it's just really that first one, to believe bigger, to just open yourself up to the possibility, I can do this. If these people are all sitting there saying that they're buying this and that and then they're owning this and that and the cash flows, whatever, you could do that. You could just decide to believe that, because what I've seen is I'm not any different. I'm probably a lot worse than a lot of people, but I'm not very good with map reading. But if ordinary people can do it, and there are so many examples of that, then anybody who's watching this video thinking, oh, I wonder if I could have a go, well, yeah, you definitely could, and you can be successful. Because we stop ourselves. We're the main barriers to ourselves. Really.
And it is for everyone. Everyone and anyone.
Go for it, definitely.
So what resources would you recommend for people who want to get started?
So for people just getting started out, it's important first of all to think about what strategy is going to suit me the best.
Yeah.
Is it going to be to either spend my own money, maybe you've got equity in your property or something like that? Is it going to be to raise funds within friends and family just to start off with and buy something?
Yeah.
Is it going to be to start with a low money down strategy like rent to rent? I obviously recommend HMO as the beginner strategy, rent to rent HMO or deal sourcing again. But I think even deal sourcing is a great strategy if you're not relying on consistent income.
Yeah.
But it's worthwhile learning it. But I think sometimes people think that if they learn deal sourcing that they will be able to get consistent cash flow, and that's not usually the case for a beginner.
Yeah.
So how to start off on YouTube. You're obviously watching Leah's channel, which is a great way to see all behind the scenes about what goes on. And there's my channel as well, Rent to Rent Success, which is all about rent to rent HMO and lots of tips and tricks and hints about how to get your business set up right, legally, ethically, and the way that it's going to be a win for the landlord, a win for the tenant, and a win for you on the cash flow side of things. And we also have got some free, a free online training and a guide, I'm sure Leah will put in the comments.
Yes.
So that's a great way to get started if you want to get started in rent to rent.
Yeah, definitely. And is there any books that you recommend for people to read?
I really like the business books and the mindset books. There's a fantastic book that I'm just reading at the moment on negotiation called, oh dear, it's something like Negotiate as If Your Life Depended on It by Chris Voss, and it is a fantastic book because property and business in general is all about relationships, and relationships are all about negotiation, whether it's with your family, whether people you're buying deals from. So that's a fantastic book to read. And I was going to mention about some other stuff that we got going on.
Yes, tell us everything.
So I mentioned that we did that first property, and we've still got our commercial tenants at the moment, but we've got the planning in place, and within 5 years we'll need to do that development. But the other thing that I wanted to say that I know that people will be interested in is that you can also buy properties on a lease option or on an exchange with delayed completion, and for those you don't need the sort of massive deposits that you need to buy a property with a normal mortgage.
Yeah.
You don't even need to get a normal mortgage. They are your optimal low money down strategy to actually acquiring property, even if you're not in a position to buy properties.
Yeah.
And so I really encourage people to learn about those strategies, and then just keep your eyes and ears out while you're out there doing rent to rent or doing your other cash flow strategy.
Yeah.
You're going to see opportunities and people are going to trust you more because you're already in property. So we just completed on one this week, which is it's one house split into 4 flats, all on one title, and we agreed the purchase price with the seller of £160,000.
Yeah.
And we have paid, you can pay anything from £1, whatever you negotiate with the seller.
Yeah.
We've actually paid £16,000. Wow. But I think most people who are working and who have family and friends who are working, I'm often surprised the family and friends who have actually got money stashed away.
Yeah.
So for most people, we have actually got cash flow from other business, but a lot of people would be able to put that together if they had a property that required them to put 16 grand.
Yeah.
And then we're paying £320 a month, every month for the next 5 years. And then at the end of the 5 years, we purchase the property and we minus off all the 320s that we paid.
Yeah.
We minus off the 16k that we paid, and we just pay the rest.
Yeah.
So it's almost like there's no rent.
Yeah.
It's just a long-term purchase. It's like the seller has been like our mortgage lender, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So it's a really phenomenal strategy. So I just wanted to bring that out there. And the other thing that I wanted to mention to you is when you get the opportunity to buy a property where and this happened to us by accident. You know, whether you were aiming for something lower and then it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Like we kept going for these 5 and 6 bed HMOs and getting outbid.
Right.
Or the deal fell through because the lender valued it much lower than the price we'd agreed to pay. Because lenders tend to be conservative. But then we found this 12-unit property with a little shop on the front, and there was no competition.
Yeah.
So that was amazing, and that's when I've seen that because it had a little shop, that's commercial, that lending is more complicated.
Yeah.
But it's still doable even for newer investors.
Yeah.
Because obviously we managed to secure it.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that I would just say to people to keep their lookout for. If you've got a property, say, I mean, it needn't be 12, it could be one house split into 6 flats.
Yeah.
And the way you can increase the value of that property really quickly just by a bit of lick and polish on the decor.
Yeah.
And then if you increase the rent, you increase the value because it's a commercial property.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's so exciting, and that's something I just say to people: look out for that.
Yeah. And what else is coming up in the future? Anything you can tell us about?
Yeah, well, obviously, our vision, our mission, a bit like you, we want to share all of this with as many of you as possible. So if you're interested in rent to HMO, we'd love to see you over at Rent to Rent Success, and you can get the free guide and everything also on our website, rentorentsuccess.com. And I'm writing a book.
Oh my god, amazing!
You'll have to write a book.
One day.
I'm writing the Rent to Rent Success book and going to launch a podcast as well. So
cool. I love podcasts.
Yeah, me too. What's your favourite?
Ooh, I've been listening to so many new ones at the minute. I think at the minute my favourite one is by Mark Homer.
Yeah.
Talking about commercial conversions.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Maybe I should come to that.
Yeah, he did like a live Q&A one that he'd like turned into a podcast, and there was just so many like golden nuggets. You're just like, yeah, this is really good. Yeah, really like him.
Well, I've had a few long journeys. I've just come here today from London, and then I'll be back to Wales. So I've been listening in the last couple of days to the Bigger Pockets podcast, which is an American podcast, huge property podcast from America, but all different types of investment strategies, from mobile homes to deal sourcing and I don't know, multi-unit blocks. They call them multi-family. But yeah, I love that because I get so many ideas listening to that podcast.
Yeah. Oh, I have to check them out.
Yeah,
amazing.
It's cool.
And
cool.
When's your book going to be out?
It's going to be out this year. I don't want to put a month on it. I don't know, because I'm still writing it. But and we're also on Facebook. We've got the Rent to Rent Success Facebook group. And I'm on Facebook as Stephanie Taylor UK page because my friends is maxed out. Are you maxed out on the friends?
Nearly. I don't really accept as many people now.
Yeah. So if you want a message, obviously you can message me on the. Oh, I'm on Insta now.
Yes, you're on Instagram. This is recent.
Yeah, I think I've only been on there for a few weeks, so I'm still working out what's going on. But that's how we kind of. I'd seen you on YouTube.
Yeah.
But we kind of started chatting once I got onto Insta.
Yeah, Instagram's the place.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much for coming on my channel.
It's a pleasure.
And I'll make sure I leave links to everything that Stephanie's mentioned in the description bar below so you can check it out. But definitely make sure you check out Rent to Success on YouTube so you can pick up any tips and tricks. But thank you again.
Pleasure.
And thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Leah_Miller. And I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.